Can we get full-time Bully Aspinall after this smear campaign? How are you going to be on the comeback?
Right, when I come back, there is no more Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Tom. When it comes to MMA, he's gone. And I'm going full bad guy, I think.
Jake Paul has just dropped some terrifying new training footage for his upcoming fight with Anthony Joshua, and Joe Rogan has finally reacted to it. The entire MMA and boxing world is stunned because Jake Paul looks bigger, sharper, and more explosive than ever before. Rogan admitted that whether people like Jake or not, it's clear he is taking this fight extremely seriously.
Waiting around for Jon Jones for a whole year, over a year. Career on hold. Despite the fact that he told everyone, look, this guy ain't going to fight me. He's going to retire before he'll fight me. So you might as well just give me the title now. But unfortunately, the UFC, they wanted to believe that their GOAT was the man that they bigged him up to be. And they were wrong. And after working his whole life to become UFC heavyweight champion, this was the way it was announced.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
All right, Dana, calm down. Don't get too excited. And that was in the middle of the night in some random ass UFC press conference. No ceremony, no celebration, no congratulations, Tom. We've got the best young fighter in the world. It was as if no one gave a fuck from the UFC. It was so bad. And I get Dana was pissed because he'd been made to look a fool by Jon Jones, but that was never Tom Aspinall's fault. Tom just wanted to fight the best guy he possibly could. And you'd think MMA fans would love that. There's a fighter who's trying to fight the best, wants to win the title, wants to defend the title and be an active heavyweight champion, something we've not had in God knows how long in the UFC. But no, because Jon Jones weirdly has a lot of fans who want to see him protected and not get his chin smashed to bits, they supported the guy who ran away from the fight and trashed Tom consistently.
This is not a gimmick. This is not YouTube boxing. This is Jake Paul preparing for a real heavyweight killer. Rogan said the footage makes that very clear. The first thing he pointed out was Jake's size. Jake Paul is massive now. This isn't the same Jake who trained for the Gervonta fight. He has added serious muscle, real power, and a heavyweight frame you would never expect from someone who started boxing on YouTube. Rogan said the transformation is unbelievable and proves Jake knows exactly how dangerous this fight is. Anthony Joshua is a two-time heavyweight world champion who has knocked out giants, and Jake looks like he finally understands that reality.
Much because the moment he left, he came right back. And by the way, I have no problem with all of this. We never had a problem with any of this. It was the fact that he was holding up the division, holding up the belt. Everyone said, please stick around. Stick around as long as you want. Just give up the title so other people can realize their dreams. Fun fights, one-off fights, legacy fights, super fights, all day. You're bigger than the title. Jon Jones is bigger than the UFC heavyweight title. He's bigger than any title. There's only a couple of guys who are bigger than the title. Jon being one. If Tom would have beaten Jon, the fact that he beat Jon would be bigger than him becoming UFC heavyweight champion.
Situation looked like Curtis Blaydes came to beat Tom Aspinall up that night. Tom throws a kick and magically gets hurt. I would expect a fighter to at least attempt to stand back up or at least limp. And with Tom, he was just completely just out of the fight. And his last situation was Cyril Gane. He gets poked in the eye. Normally you see fighters that are doing this number, trying to get the doctor to look at it. And actually, initially, the doctor's just like, he seems fine. Tom's like, no, I can't see. The guy wasn't trying to see. Yeah. The guy didn't want to see. The eye that he was covering appeared to be the eye that actually didn't get penetrated. One eye, the finger goes all the way underneath the eyelid. The other eye, it was on top of the eyelid. And he ends up grabbing the eye where the finger was on top of the eyelid. So I don't even think Tom really knew which eye was supposed to be more compromised. He just knew that he had been fouled and it was his way out. So that alone shows me a little bit what's behind the facade of this whole Tom Aspinall character.
Suddenly, the quietest man in the...
What shocked Rogan the most was Jake Paul's speed at this new size. The footage shows him moving in and out with surprising sharpness, throwing explosive combinations, ripping huge body shots, and drilling that signature overhand right that has put so many opponents to sleep. Rogan said that even though Jake will still be the underdog, this version of Jake Paul is the most physically intimidating we've ever seen, and that alone makes the fight interesting. Rogan also broke down Jake's strategy, noticing how he is slipping jabs, cutting angles, and focusing on closing distance safely. According to Rogan, the only way Jake wins is if he turns a fight into a war.
He's like immediately incapacitated. You poke my eye and then he's like immediately, there's no like.
He never tried to look. It was rag on the eye immediately.
Dude, I would have been the silliest looking cat on national TV just
Trying. He didn't try. He didn't try.
Same thing with Curtis Blaze. When he hurt his knee, there was no limping, there was no trying to get up. It was just like immediately,
Yep.
burn my village. I can't go on. Like,
He doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, that kill or be killed.
Immediately quits.
Yeah.
When he got tapped out with an ankle lock, there was no trying to fight his hands. There were no trying to. He immediately quit.
You see the pattern of it.
Immediately.
Yeah. And I noticed the profile pic change, and then you had some on your horse too, similar.
Yeah.
What's with
yeah.
the...
I'm just having fun.
You having fun with the eye patches?
I'm having fun with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like he had at it with me. He had a long time coming at me. So it's to keep the fans engaged.
Of course.
And it's just to keep things fun.
The best part about it is like, what did Tom actually say about John? Like he never really played into, I guess he held up like a little duck and all that stuff, the horror. But yeah, the glazing was just...
He doesn't have that
Curtis
dog
Blades,
in him, bro.
the knee injury. He hit the air quotes for, I think it was a torn MCL, a torn meniscus, ACL damage, surgery, year recovery. He's just like
blown out.
Didn't even try to limp around.
He didn't even give it the old college try.
Just wouldn't even give it a try. He doesn't have that dog in him. Just doesn't have that dog.
And then the thing of like,
No, the other guy said that. The other guy said he didn't have that.
He saw the patterns.
Don't forget.
the thing about not trying to open the eye, like wasn't Aspinall being killed for the fact that he opened his eye because he was trying to go on? Everyone keeps bringing up this thing of him saying I can't see. Yeah, okay, that was his reaction, but he didn't tap out. He didn't do anyway. Not to like get into this back and forth because it's completely stupid, but it's like you've never seen anyone talk so much shit about someone that he refused to fight, and not just refused to fight, but generational money. Like no one has ever been offered $30 million, to the best of our knowledge. Not even Conor up front. This is pre-pay-per-view points, and you said no. And now you've gone on this tour shitting on the guy, calling him a quitter, saying that he doesn't have that dog in him, saying that he looks for the way out. The Curtis Blades. By the way, the Curtis Blades fight happened already. The ankle lock that you're talking about happened already. The poke happened after you said no. But like, if there were patterns, why didn't you fight the guy?
Think about Dana White saying Tom didn't continue.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So.
And then also, who gives it to eye pokes?
Who gives it?
Well, listen, I didn't continue. I'll tell you why I didn't continue. Because I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not going to go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see. I know, as an MMA fighter, look, things are going to happen in the fight that compromise you. Go back and watch my fight with Arlovsky. The end of the first round, he punched.
But Rogan also warned that if Jake gets caught early, it could be a brutal night. Anthony Joshua is not someone you test your luck against. Jake went from preparing to fight someone half his size to stepping in against one of the most powerful British heavyweights of this era. It's madness, yet it's the same kind of madness Jake Paul feeds on. Rogan ended by saying Jake Paul might be delusional, but that delusion is a superpower. It's what made him step into the ring with real fighters and win. And judging by the new footage, Jake Paul is not coming to survive against Anthony Joshua. He's coming to win, even if the entire world thinks he can't. Whether that's courage or insanity, Rogan said only time will tell.
The other part of this eye is blurry, but the main thing that's bothering me at the minute is double vision.
When he's looking up and in, the left eye is going up and in extremely well. The right eye is kind of stopping. You see how the right eye is just not as high up as the left, and that's a restriction. So the eye wants to go and he wants to track it, but the more I do this, the more he's going to start aching in that upper inner aspect. And what he's going to do is, if he's in a fight situation, he's not going to be dealing with it. He doesn't want the ache in the eye, and he also doesn't want to have double. So what he's going to do is tilt his head. So that's on that side. If you look at the left, which should be matching it, so you're looking across, up, 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 as much as you can. And you can see how, again, with the right eye, it's up and out, but the left eye is just not able to go as extremely up as possible.
When I got poked in the eye, obviously, and then people were like, his eye wasn't even red. Does your eye always go red when there's something wrong, or is that?
You can absolutely lose your vision without having a painful red eye. So you don't need a red eye to have blurred vision at all. So no.
Yeah. So how long till I can train properly, spar?
It's a long road ahead, but the prognosis is guarded at the moment. I would recommend that you wouldn't fight until your double vision's resolved.
Tom Aspinall went to the doctors, and the doctors has confirmed
that he's got some issues with his eyeballs. He's got some soft tissue damage to the eyeballs, and that will happen when a 6'6" Frenchman sticks both of his fingers knuckle deep into your eyeballs, okay? So that's not surprising. But what is surprising is that he has something called Brown syndrome, which basically is where the eyes aren't moving in tandem with one another. So therefore, the eyes, which are basically cameras, right, for your brain, as in case you don't know, they're seeing different images. And when you see different images, you see double, or maybe sometimes the brain cuts out one of the images so that it doesn't get confusing and you don't get headaches and stuff like that.
Behind the scenes, more footage of Jake's training has started circulating, and this is where things get even more interesting. Coaches close to Jake say he has never trained this aggressively in his entire career. His sparring with heavier partners, taking real punishment, and pushing himself far beyond what he did for the Nate Diaz or Anderson Silva fights. One trainer even said Jake is training like a man who knows is walking into a firestorm, but refuses to back down. Rogan reacted to these reports by saying Jake's mindset is a real story here. He isn't training like a YouTuber. He's training like a man preparing for the biggest and most dangerous moment of his life.
He's talking so much smack about Tom.
He doesn't have the money to not. He doesn't have the money to walk away. He doesn't have a choice. I mean, that's
why did he walk away to begin with? He was offered $30 million. He asked for 30, and he got that.
No,
and now he's apologizing.
No, I don't know. He
miscalculated that one.
He did that thing with Nate, and they got $300,000, and it took 30 days, and so all of a sudden he's like, "Well, if I can make $300,000 in 30 days, and I can do this every 30 days."
Sure.
No, it's. I mean, sometimes explaining very basic things it can be tough. But will he fight again? Yes, I believe so, and I think there's some real legs. Look, if you're the UFC, the last thing you want to do is empower a dude that you can't count on, and by the way, it ties back into my theory to whoever's keeping him out of the rankings. Like there's something afoot there.
What are you left feeling after the fight?
Well, look, if you were sidelined from doing your job for like 15 months, not allowed to do anything, you train your ass off for 6 months for a fight, then to get double eye pokes, be left with no vision for nearly 6 weeks because of an illegal move. How do you think I feel? I'm not feeling.
Even Anthony Joshua has reportedly taken notice. Insiders say Joshua's camp was surprised by how physically big Jake Paul had become and how committed he seems. Joshua himself hasn't said much publicly, but he has told the media that he isn't taking Jake lightly for even 1 second. Rogan said that the worst mistake a heavyweight can make is underestimating someone who is hungry and fearless. And if there's one thing Jake Paul has shown again and again, it's that he's not afraid of anything. Whether that confidence is real or just a mask. Rogan said it doesn't matter. What matters is that Jake is showing up ready to fight.
Because I think that he should box because it's more money, that affected him in the fight. I've never heard as much as people saying what I say affects Tom in a fight. I say loads of things to loads of people. People who are around me all the time know that. Boxers are around me all the time. It's just because of the money. And it's the back to, if your son was a fighter, would you sooner him fight for a ton of money or not a ton of money? It's a no-brainer, but people still have a narrative of what a fight is.
Bully Aspinall has finally come out. Tom Aspinall is showing he doesn't care about the UFC and the UFC fans who have been giving him shit for a long time.
He's going at the fans, he's going at Dana White, and he's going at Cyril Gane.
Let's go over what he said. Cyril Gane is a cheater. He goes into fights looking to eye poke, back of the head shots. He even said John Jones, before he fought Cyril Gane, called him a cheater as well. Then he says he's pissed off with Dana White, and he's also said he's got Brown syndrome, which is a pretty serious eye condition, which may involve surgery. He's not training right now. He just wants to get his eyes back to 100%.
And you know what? It's all warranted. Dana White, very unnecessary comments after that fight.
You know, he's very much been the nice guy, the polite Englishman, the gentleman. Now, he doesn't care. The gloves are off, and this Tom Aspinall is going to self-ice, and dare I say, he's going to knock out Cyril Gane. He's coming in with...
As the fight approaches, fans are becoming more divided than ever. Some believe Jake Paul is completely out of his mind for stepping into the ring with a man like Anthony Joshua. Others believe this is exactly the kind of chaos Jake thrives in, the kind of moment he was built for. Rogan said that no one truly knows how this will end. Maybe Jake shocks the world again. Maybe Joshua teaches him the harshest lesson of his life. But one thing is certain, Jake Paul has forced everyone to pay attention. He has turned a fight that seemed impossible into one of the most talked about matchups in modern boxing. And now, all that's left is to see whether Jake's belief in himself is brilliance or pure madness.